What's up, everyone? Day 3. Just finished our second workout of the day, the 45-minute outdoor workout. I walked up and down my road. Had this 35-pound backpack I carried with me. Total distance was 2.23 miles. It's a nice day today, a little breeze, probably 100 degrees, but that's relative. We're all in different areas of the country. As long as you just get it in, it doesn't matter if it's raining, if it's cold or hot, you just got to get it in. It's the 45 minutes. Not always convenient, but get it in as soon as you can throughout the day. That way you're not about to go to sleep at night and you remember you got to do your 45-minute outdoor workout. You can do both workouts outside though, if that's something you're into. You don't always have to walk. You can come up with your own things. You can bring a stationary bike outside. That's part of the rules. The other day I hit the punching bag for 45 minutes with push-ups. That's something I'm going to do when I get off here. Do a couple sets of max out push-ups. I was already at my 45 minutes, so I wanted to come and get my message. And I still have to get my reading done and take a picture. I did not take a picture yet. Last night it was almost bedtime and I took my picture right before bed, as well as my reading. That's something I want to work on getting done earlier in the day. Probably because I wake up and I do an hour on my tread climber. And I don't even count that as part of my workouts for the day. That's just something I do to help with my lower back. I have lower back issues and hip issues, and it helps with mobility. And I just do it for cardio. I burn about 500 calories in that hour. And that's when I usually listen to Andy's podcast or Ed's podcast or some type of motivational stuff. I try to avoid any type of current events. Unless it's Andy's CTI. But if it's newsworthy or stuff like that, I try to have more positive stuff in the morning when I'm trying to, reach my peak state and be positive and not start listening to a bunch of stuff about negative things going on in the world. But anyway, today the message I want to talk about is something I was thinking about, something I learned from Ed Milet. We all waste most of our best moments. When you go on vacation, I know this happens to me every single vacation until recently when I started implementing this into the things I did, how I deal with it. When you go on vacation and you get home, there's just, for me anyways, there was always this depressed feeling like, dang, it's over with. When's this next one going to come? Like, did I savor all the moments? Did I say all the right things when I should have said the right things? All these things, because usually I'm with my daughter. I have a 15-year-old daughter, and that's who I do all my everything with. I'm not married or otherwise don't have a girlfriend. So that's what I spend all my time doing, working, and then spend my time with her. So in these trips we go on, I would always, even before whenever I was a kid, I would feel the same way. The trip would be over and it would just be that, darn, it's over. But if you can develop the skill to, expect that, if it's going to feel like that whenever the trip is over, focus the whole time when you're on that trip of being present. Don't be on your phone. Put everybody's plans ahead of yours. Try to get everybody in on what you're doing. Like if somebody wants to go to the pool for the day, if you want to go to the beach, no matter what it is, wherever you're at, accommodate each other. Make those memories special. So that way, whenever you get home, you don't have any regrets of anything that you wish you would have done or said. And then also at the same time, when you are having those great moments where you're like, for example, the last trip we went on, we went to Puerto Rico in July. So this is like 2 months ago almost. We went parasailing, and that moment, that feeling of just being up there, and it was almost like it was slow motion, just floating above the water on a parachute, barely moving. It was bliss. It was very peaceful. It was almost like it was fake, but you got to just take the time, recognize what is happening in the moment, be aware and be present, obviously, but don't be like in such awe that you're not presently there and active in what's going on. Just you got to absorb it, and that way, whenever times come up in the future, say like right now, I'm not on that trip. I'm at home. I'm off work. I work outside of town usually, and I'm off right now, so I'm able to get all my tasks done easily for 75 hard. But like right now, I'm have these feelings where like, darn, I wish I was back at those times. Well, if you set yourself up to think back on those times, like you can trigger and like snap your fingers, or you can like, tap your foot, or you don't necessarily have to let anybody know what you're doing, but you're getting out of that depressed moment and that feeling of I guess it'd just be sadness that comes from not being where you want to be at certain times. But it allows you to enjoy that moment again without even having to be there. You can think back of the look on the people's faces that you're with, the look on your face, the feelings that you felt, everything that you saw. You can bring yourself all the way back into those moments, and that way you're not necessarily having to go get that high of going on one of those trips again right then. You can subside and it'll hold you off until you are able to go back on another trip or on another vacation or whatever that you enjoy doing. It could be anything, and it'll hold you off until that time's available again. So that moment of sadness can just dissipate. You won't feel like that. So if it's just snapping your fingers, or like I said, tapping your foot, just whatever you choose, whatever works for you best. That way you're not in that moment anymore. And like I said, how we waste most of our moments is we're not present. We just kind of go through the motions. We're on these trips. We stay on our phones. We're looking at our phones. We're taking pictures and posting, and all that's great as far as that goes as taking pictures and posting. But maybe just take the picture real quick and just post it later. But and be more present while you're there. Obviously, you need the pictures for the memories, and you want to take pictures with your families, but be more present. Don't just be scrolling Facebook or whatever all the day, or scrolling, watching YouTube. Just focus on knowing what it's going to feel like when you leave there if you don't do those steps. And I promise you will be a lot better position to overcome those feelings whenever you're not on the trip and you're in between trips. Because sometimes, the way it is, I like to go on trips every 3 months. And I know how it is with, finances. Sometimes some people can only go on a trip once every year, once every 2 years. So those moments are priceless at the time. So it's even more important that you are able to incorporate this skill and these traits that allow you to have those feelings of enjoyment and bring back those memories whenever you're not necessarily feeling the best that you could feel, and get out of that little low, that funk that you're in, and bring you back. That way you're not burning on anybody else by being in a depressed mode. Whenever you are in a bad mood, it doesn't necessarily make everybody around you want to be in a good mood. So it's a domino effect. You're in a bad mood, everybody starts being in a bad mood, and it goes from there. So let's just stay in a good mood, and if we can, let's try not to waste those moments, because we only get so many of them. We only get this one life. Let's make the best of it. Let's make the most of it. And if you do that, I promise you, whenever those times come up in the future, whenever you're having sad feelings or lonely feelings or whatever the case is, you know what I'm talking about. We've all been there. We've all had it happen. You'll be able to get out of it and get back to your happy self, no matter what. And even if it takes getting a good workout in and hit your peak physical performance state, you will definitely be thankful that you did and that you developed those skills. So anyways, guys, that was day 3, little message I had. So let's just not waste our moments. And I'll be back again tomorrow for day 4. Everything's going good as far as the 75 hard program. I feel great. the food's going down fine. Still just maintaining my weight right now, just trying to keep size. Possibly doing a bodybuilding show in December, so not necessarily trying to just diet right now. I will be trying to diet down in probably a week or two. We'll just see. But for now, I'm just going to focus on what I've got going on and see what happens with work and the schedule like that. So anyways, guys, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Please like and subscribe and comment any questions you have. If you want to hit me up for any type of coaching or training, we can do that also. And I can set you up with a plan and give you my figures for rates. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.